Well, the tag team division is in chaos. The women's division seems to be in chaos, and I don't think Ricochet has any leg left. Let's talk about NXT. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your February 13th NXT review, but we're going to get into the house cleaning really quick. Put up a few commentaries in the past week or so. I did one on the body count of Nia Jax, and the other is how I would have fantasy booked Horsewomen versus Horsewomen post WrestleMania. Please go check those out. Please also go check out the Q&A that is up right now, the late Royal Rumble Q&A as it was. I'm going to invite you guys to check out the pay-per-view pick 'em that we're going to do tomorrow for Elimination Chamber. We're going to get myself, Kristen, Guapo. We're going to get our picks. We're going to ask you guys for your picks at that time as well. For those of you that have never done it before, give me your picks, rank your picks, and keep score on Sunday night. And it's going to be a really good time. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. You know, it's one of those kind of days. I don't know whether you guys are going to get an NXT UK review out of me this week. But what you will get from me either later tonight or tomorrow, there's another update for those of you that have been keeping track on this channel of the iPay-per-view coming up for Destiny Wrestling, The Ritual. There was 2 more announcements made today. I'm going to go over those at a later date. 1 more match has been announced and 1 match has been changed. So stay tuned for that. As I say, either really later tonight or sometime tomorrow evening, I'll be giving you guys that information. But this episode of NXT was all over the place in the best way possible. The tag team division is in a bit of an uproar. The women's division is in a little bit of an uproar, more or less caused by the champion, and everybody else is just sort of finding their new spots. And we're going to start with the first match is Dominik Dijakovic, which I'm just going to call him Dijak because Dijakovic is so fucking dumb, taking on Shane Thorne. And Shane Thorne's new nickname is The Worst. I don't know why they call him The Worst. I think you could have taken the tag team name The Mighty and just called him The Mighty Shane Thorne. I mean, I know they were doing the almighty Bobby Lashley thing. Maybe that's why they don't want to do it, but you know, it is what it is. And it's amazing to me because when TM61 came in, you guys know that have been watching me for a long time, I thought they were nerdy as hell. I thought it was really lame. You know, another couple of guys that are just happy to be here. Started really liking them when they did the heel turn, sort of changed their image a little bit, and by the time Nick Miller left and Shane Thorne stayed, I was of the impression that I really hope they don't bury this guy. But he was in this match with Dijak, and Shane Thorne looked really good for what he did in there. I mean, it was obviously a match to make Dijak look good. Thorne had him in a stretch. I'm not going to go through the whole match. He had him in a stretch at one point where he had his neck cranked all the way one way and his arm cranked all the way the other way. But the arm that he cranked the other way was also working the wrist. So it's ever so slightly a little bit of that, what we see in NXT UK from guys like Pete Dunne, guys like Zach Gibson, etc., with the joint manipulation. And it was really good. Dijakovic gets the win. He's the one they're pushing right now. He's a little bit insane. I like Shane Thorne. I really hope that they put him, I mean, not right now with the names that are in the North American title picture right now, but eventually he should be a guy that holds up the North American title, because right now the guys that are fighting over the North American title could be fighting over the main title, and Shane Thorne isn't quite there yet. But is that not what a mid-card title is for? We get a every time it's the Undisputed Era, I'm really tempted to say the Attitude Era. We get an Undisputed Era promo in the back talking about the speed bumps in the road, talking about how the people that have already said that they've got a bad start to 2019 don't know what they're talking about. You know, there's speed bumps, there's highs and lows, you know, it is what it is. They did specify that that Roderick Strong is no longer going to be in the tag team bit with O'Reilly because Fish is back now. Fish and O'Reilly are going to go back to being the tag team. Strong's going to focus on singles gold, and Adam Cole is going to take on Ricochet later tonight in his, I guess, quest to regain the North American Championship. Now, that's a bit weird because if you ask me, Adam Cole is the leader of the group, so you figure the leader of the group would go for the biggest title, but he's going to go for the North American title. But one of the guys sort of under him in Roderick Strong says he's going to go for singles gold, and the only other title is the NXT Championship. So could you have a little bit of a rift there, a little bit of a battle of who's really in charge? I mean, I know people on the main roster want to see the club, the Bullet Club, whatever you want to call it, get together and then have I don't know, Balor and Styles have some sort of rift between the two of them as to who the leader is, you could have a very similar story. I don't really want to see that, to be quite honest with you. But you could do that here, where Roderick Strong gets the one-upsmanship on Adam Cole, or, you know, he's been playing a really, really long game to get back at the Undisputed Era for how they treated him back when he was a babyface. Great promo overall. I think the promos that Undisputed Era do in the back, where they're kind of riffing and they're kind of bouncing off of each other, it sounds like half like a promo and half like you're just in on a conversation with them, and it's really, really good, and nobody else does it quite like them, so it works. We replayed the 3-on-3 match from, I believe it was last week, with Io Shirai pinning Shayna Baszler, saying, you know, she could come for Baszler at any time, she could be the champion at any time. Bianca comes in and starts chirping at both of them that they need to get in line behind her because she's undefeated, even though she's not, so that's retarded. And not the last, we're going to hear about the Women's Championship, or the Women's Division, tonight. Humberto Carrillo and Stacey Irvin Jr. versus who? We don't know. Their opponents don't come out. But Cassius Ohno comes out, randomly sort of rambling to himself and having a bit of a breakdown, talking about how he's been there for 2 years. It's been hard. I'm in the back constantly watching the cameras pan over the crowd, and the crowd makes me sick. Roddy, Roddy, Rah. You guys are here, and you're annoying, and you cheer for all the wrong people, and you give us all the stupid cheers, and I'm here to tell you that I'm sick of you, and whatever. And Keith Lee just comes up behind him and clocks him. And he says, you know, because Ohno's like, oh, in case you guys didn't know, I'm out of here. I'm going to go somewhere where I'm more appreciated. And thank God we didn't have idiots in the crowd that's starting like an AEW chant or whatever. Because, you know, you go work for a t-shirt company, that's great. But it's not quite like wrestling. Anyways, that was my one per video. Keith Lee just comes in and knocks him out. He says, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Apologizes to the guys in the ring and apologizes to the crowd. Hopes everybody can get on with their evening and, you know, enjoy the festivities, enjoy the rest of the show, Roddy, Roddy, Rah. Turns out that Humberto and Stacey Irvin Jr. are taking on the Street Profits. The Street Profits come out, dancing in the aisleway, fist bumping with Keith Lee, making fun of Cassius Ohno, because that's really easy and really fun to do. And then they have a match. And Humberto Carrillo, they're doing a lot to really make this guy look good. I mean, they're letting him cross over between NXT and 205 Live, which is good. There was the other fellow that he was tagged up with a while ago. I don't know what happened to him, but this other guy is apparently really, really impressing people in the Performance Center and whatever, so new partner is new. And we move on. Humberto and Ford start, headlock by Humberto and a tackle, a leg sweep by Ford, and a gut shot and some right hands, a double team by the Profits, arm drag by Humberto, a hard tackle by Dawkins, and an enziguri by Humberto. Double dropkick by Humberto and Stacey when Stacey finally gets the tag. Standing star press by Stacey and a spear by Dawkins. Double mudhole stomp by the Profits. Ford works the ribs. Insane back suplex by Ford. And I legitimately, and I know it's NXT. NXT is a little bit more real. I should know better by this point, but I really thought that somebody had fucked something up. The way he planted him, I thought somebody got hurt. But it wasn't the case. I mean, the commentators do a great job of, oh my god, how's this guy walking, etc. But in all honesty, he gets back up and gets the tag. Humberto gets in and starts beating him down. Missile dropkick by Humberto, a moonsault by Stacey, but a doomsday blockbuster by the Profits get the win. What I like about this is the Profits come out and they have a lot of fun and whatever, and they have not the same as the New Day, but they have that element where they first come out and they're fun and everybody's partying and everybody's having a good time, and then they get in the ring and they can actually prove what they can do. Best example in the world, and I know I'm not here to talk about SmackDown, but if you saw the gauntlet match that Kofi Kingston was in on SmackDown, which was fucking fantastic. Really, really sad what happened to Mustafa Ali. That's another story for another day. I have an idea of what they could do with that in the future. That might be another video. But Kofi Kingston, Jesus fucking Christ, had a career performance on Tuesday, and it was fantastic. And right at the end, when AJ Styles tries to have sympathy on him, it's like, hey man, you don't have to do this. You've already proven whatever you needed to prove tonight, whatever. And he got all serious and all pissed off and showed the serious side of Kofi Kingston that we haven't seen forever. There was a little bit of that in this match where you've got Dawkins and Ford who do come out there and do have a lot of fun, but they will, like, fuck you up. So they get the win, they grab the microphone, and basically they say a lot of people around here talking about getting that gold, whatever, we want a piece of the action, and the crowd erupts. And I mean, it's NXT. They like to chant stuff anyway, but the "You Deserve It" chant that went through Full Sail was vibrant, to say the least. He said, you know, we're all about having fun, but don't be surprised, we can go to war. And they're about to call out the War Raiders, but they're cut off by Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner. who are cut off by Lorcan and Birch, who are cut off by the War Raiders, who say, you know, there's a lot of people in that ring talking, we're waiting for somebody to make a move, and as if to answer them, 3 of the 4 members of Undisputed Era, all the ones that aren't Adam Cole, come jump the War Raiders, you know, brawl with them 3-on-2 towards the ring, toss them in the ring, and then they fuck off. They start a brawl, and then they leave. Lorcan, Birch, Barthel, Fabian, and the Street Profits brawling with the War Raiders as the Undisputed Era go back up the rampway. The cerebralness, and yes, I chose that word very specifically, of the Undisputed Era, letting everybody else sort of pick the bones type thing. It was a really good bit, because not that I want them to get overly gimmicky with every pay-per-view. Oh, little side note for those of you that haven't heard, or haven't heard the rumor anyway, apparently the what the hell is it called? The TakeOver that's happening before WrestleMania, that was supposed to be TakeOver Brooklyn, that then became apparently TakeOver New York, is now apparently called NXT TakeOver Blacklist. Now, I've heard this as a rumor. I've heard this on the dirt sheets. I haven't heard this anywhere really officially. If anybody out there has heard this as well and know of any validity to it, please let me know, because I really want to know what the significance of that name is. But getting back to my point, I don't want NXT TakeOver matches to be overly gimmicky, but with the talent that you've got there, I wouldn't really mind them somewhere along the line having a tag team gauntlet match for the belts. I think that would be really good. We get a reminder that Gargano is going to take on Dream next week for the North American Championship, and again, I'm going to say what I said last week. I think when you've got Dream in a position where he can pick any belt he wants and he goes for a mid-card title, it does something bad to the NXT Championship. Now, he said he didn't want to put another spotlight on Ciampa, which is fine. You know, storyline-wise, that's great, but still, you chose a lower title rather than the main title, rather than the main NXT UK title, rather than, you know, 205, I don't think you could go for. But it's an odd choice. It really is an odd choice, and we know the rumor that has happened about the taping for next week, and how they taped more than one ending just to throw off the people that are giving spoilers. Now, how that plays out in the end, I don't really know. I know what I'd like to see, but, you know, even in NXT, which is really good, we don't always get what we want. What we do get, though, is Taynara Conti, who we haven't seen in a while, versus my hometown girl, Aaliyah. Random, out of nowhere, and it gets even more random and even more out of nowhere. But trip by Conti to start a flying armbar and a forearm by Aaliyah, and then all of a sudden we see Vanessa Bourne showing up on the rampway for reasons. We take down by the hair by Aaliyah, fireman carry takeover. Can't read my own writing. Kicks to the back by Aaliyah, jackknife by Conti, a series of hip tosses by Conti, and an armbar over the ropes, sort of Alberto Del Rio style. Bourne grabs Conti by the foot, allowing Aaliyah to beel her off the top rope and put her in some weird submission thing. I don't know what it was. They said it was in a Kimura, but it really didn't look like a Kimura. She had her all tied up, had her by one arm, and she was kicking her in the face until she gave up. I say kicking her. She was kicking her with, like, the back of her leg. I don't know. It was strange. I like Aaliyah. Like I say, hometown girl and all that. The finisher was weird. But she gets the win with the help of Bourne, and that's never really explained. Bourne and Aaliyah pose while Conti is sort of down in the one side of the ring. Baszler comes out. Everybody tries to leave. Duke and Shafir come out to cut them off. You know, they destroy everybody. It's just basically a steamroller effect. It's what I imagine the full 4 horsewomen effect will be when all of these ladies are on the main roster. But basically, they beat up Conti and they beat up Aaliyah, who have just had a match. They beat up Vanessa Bourne, who's there for reasons. Baszler cuts a really short promo and basically says, this is your reality now. You know, don't get in our way, don't try to stop us, and definitely don't piss us off. Which is really good. So we got a bunch of chaos in the tag team division, as I say. We got a bunch of chaos in the women's division, as I say. And then we've got the main event. The first and second NXT North American champions are going up against each other because they want to make a play at being the NXT North American champion. Again, which is obviously Ricochet versus Adam Cole. The story of this match was Ricochet's leg. It played out fucking wonderfully. Ricochet and Adam Cole are class. Put put them in a match. Put them in a rematch of this match as a bonus match at Elimination Chamber. Give them 20 minutes. Don't give them any direction. And you will double the value of that show. Right now, I'm really only looking forward to the women's tag team titles. But that's another story for another day. We're going to talk about that more tomorrow. Anyways, we'll start collar elbow type and a corner beatdown by Cole, back elbow by Ricochet, head scissor and a drop kick by Ricochet, and a beatdown on the outside, a boot by Cole, and an enziguri by Ricochet. And this is where it all goes wrong, doesn't it? Ricochet goes up to the top for a top rope something, but he struggles and he gets caught not only in the Tree of Woe, but he gets caught in the Tree of Woe really awkwardly on the second turnbuckle. So he's not fully hanging. He's hanging by his leg, but the rest of his body sort of hits the ground really, really awkwardly. While he's trapped, Cole beats the living fuck out of his knee, kicking it, striking it, punching it, elbows to the knee, etc. Cole gets him out. He works the knee in the ropes, gets him with a dragon screw. Cole drops knee after knee after knee on his knee, stomping on the knee bar by Cole, stomping on the knee again, some more, backdrop by Cole, where Ricochet tries to reverse out of it and land on his feet, but he just crumples because the leg is absolutely fucked. Lariat by Ricochet, a 619 and a top rope elbow. It doesn't really make sense because the leg is killing him, but a standing moonsault by Ricochet and some forearms. Cole kicks out the leg once again, hits him with forearms and an enziguri. Ushi-Goroshi by Cole, followed by a brainbuster over the knee. Super kick to the knee. Ricochet ramps up with all his leftover adrenaline, hits a fucking poison Rana on Cole, and it's fucking dirty. It is like the tent peg of Poison Ranas. It's really, really good. Springboard Senton attempt by Ricochet, but it's really awkward because he's really only trying to do it by one leg, and I don't know, and once again, I don't know whether this was intentional or not, because the Senton is so awkward. He lands right across Cole's shins and knees, and that really couldn't have been fun for either one of them. They trade some forearms, they trade some uppercuts, they trade some right hands, and there's a high knee by Cole. Super kick by Cole and a Frankensteiner by Ricochet. Suplex vertigo by Ricochet. Ricochet somehow gets the win. Undisputed Era come back out one more time tonight. 4-on-1 beatdown by Ricochet. Aleister Black, for reasons, comes to make the save, and he gets the shit kicked out of him too as we end the show. This was a lot. This was a lot of fun. The Street Profits got into the tag team situation off of their match, which was fine, which put over Humberto Carrillo because that guy still looks great. We saw the new guy, Stacey Irving, made a good, nice, limited showing of himself. Keith Lee put Cassius Ohno on his ass, which made me smile. Shane Thorne is not going to be hindered by the leaving of his partner, which is good. Dijak is still weird, but whatever. These guys gave us a great main event. Baszler's a badass. I don't know what else you could have asked for from this show, other than the fact that we didn't have Gargano or Ciampa on the show tonight. But if that's the only complaint I have, then we're having a pretty good time. Anyways, that's it for me. I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.